Hey, it's the MVP coverage team, and today we're going to be doing a deck tech of my deck, windups.
Yeah, he got first place today.
We split in the finals, but it played really well.
You won the die roll.
Yeah, I won the die roll, so I got the packs. All right, so we'll start us off with, of course, 3 windup rabbit. Doesn't need a lot of explanation, other than to me, I think this is the best card in the deck by far. Just because it allows you to do a lot of things. You can just start getting. You can just poke in if you're not ready to pop. It dodges all the removal, and probably the most important thing is if he's on the field and then my opponent goes off, but it looks like they're only going to be doing like 25 to 3k damage. You just wind up rabbit, run away, and then next turn I've got materials that I can go off or exceed with. So rabbit's just immediately good. Next one is going to be 3 wind up rat. Again, not a lot of explanation there, other than I know a lot of people were talking about just cutting 2 because they would get really awkward hands. Like the awkward hands specifically would be Magician Rat. I ran into that once or twice a day, and I don't think there's a lot you can do to alleviate it. People were talking about just cutting and just playing 2 because he's still going to be in there for when you do your derping or Magician Shark stuff. But I like having the 3rd rat in the deck, just because he's going to be an instant rank 3, or he'll allow other comboing. So I just like knowing that I've got another copy of him in the deck, or that I can search with Factory. So I think he's still really good, and definitely should be played as a 3-of. I know Josh Graham was talking about. I know Josh Graham is still playing 2 rats. I think 3 is the correct number. 3 shark.
If you need explanation to that, then you should just go home now.
Yeah, like
just
it's pretty obvious.
And go to bed.
Like, probably the best card for exceeding with, just because you can go into
you have so many
3, 4,
varieties.
and 5s. Yeah, that's what makes this deck strong. Is just you can toolbox, or you can use utility into whatever you need for that moment.
Yeah, when you have access to three different levels of Xyz with just one card, it's ridiculous.
Going, this is your tier.
That's the only one of its kind. That and Gaga Magician, but that's not even playable.
Yeah, that's not even playable. 2 Magician. Magician, there's definitely been a lot of discussion on whether 3 is the correct play. People want to play 3 just because, mathematically wise, you have a better chance opening Magician Shark if you play the 3rd Magician. But if you actually sit down and do the math, the percentages of opening with Magician Shark, 3 versus 2, it's just not statistically relevant. And because you do get a lot, if you play 3, you're going to get a lot of, most likely you're going to get a lot of dead hands. Magician Rat or Magician whatever that sucks. So I think 2 is the right number, and you can still do your normal wind up derp with 2 Magicians, so you're not really losing too much. The only time that really sucked was I had a Sengun that got destroyed, and I had a Shark in my hand, so I searched out Magician, so I was ready to go off, and then I drew another Magician, so that really handicapped me because I needed that other Magician in the deck
to really go off.
Yeah, to really just blow out the matchup and just win the game right there. So that's the only downfall. But otherwise, I like 2 Magician. You really only need 2. And by cutting the 3rd, it opens up more spots in your deck.
Yeah, that for personal attacks.
Yeah. We've got the Tour Guide engine.
Why no Night Assailant, sir? After you explained that you liked it.
Night Assailant is good in Chaos Dragons, but it's not good in this deck. Just because I don't need the Night Assailant. Like, the engine's already there. The engine's already there, and I don't get the added benefits that you would get, or any Chaos Dragon player would get, like disking, Night Assailant and X to get Light Pulsar Dragon. I'm not getting an added plus, and it's just not a card that I need at the moment.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's one of those cards that would be good if you do get in a pinch. There, it's pretty much a universal deck Raikou right now.
Yeah, there's just no space for the other engine, and I just don't think it's needed. We're getting into the spells.
You're not. You're just shuffling your deck.
I'm just shuffling my deck. There it is. All right, getting into the spells. 2 MST. Possibly want to test the 3rd, just because back row. I hate back row, and I can't go off. I mean, I can. If I don't
still go off, but then
I can still go off. I'm just like walking into.
You're walking into. You activated my spell card.
Yeah. The main reason I'd want to play the 3rd MST is just so chain ability to Abyss Sphere, so I can turn that off. But I think 2 is probably the good number right now. I sideboard the 3rd one, so. Next on the list is the
deck.
The next on the list is Factory. No explanation needed.
Why do you only run 3?
Yeah, why do I only run 3? Now we're getting into the, let's see, power spells. Doesn't matter. And the two kind of cool spell cards would be Messenger of Peace and Soul Taker. With windups, you have to think of it kind of like a combo deck. And my first exposure to combo decks, we're playing Magic: The Gathering, and basically combo decks had a very linear thing that they had to do to win the game. And when they didn't have it, they played heavy control, or they played stall until they drew the necessary combo pieces to where they could go off and get them ahead in the game. So Messenger kind of falls with that same thing. The only reason I played 2 last week and made top 4, and I really like the second one. But because Mermail is kind of a thing and Inzektor was coming back, I figured Messenger of Peace as a 2-of would probably not be the best just because it's easily popped. Like if we're playing in a format where nobody really has access main deck other than MSTs to destroy it, the Messenger of Peace is going to be really good. But when you've got so many decks that can just search out or just pop it at will, the Messenger loses its value. So I still play them in the sideboard because I can bring them in against those decks.
Now, do you mind if I stop you for a second and ask why are you running Soul Taker over Smashing Ground or Fissure or something else?
Well, Soul Taker's just, I needed targeted removal. Smashing Ground, you're going to run into just too many situations where you're not going to be able to kill the thing that you want to kill with Smashing Ground, just due to defense differences. And Fissure's, Fissure you're running.
Fissure, if you're running that, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Then you're stuck in like 2002. And Soul Taker's good just because of those random things that you can get to miss the timing, like Shining, Chaos Dragon still deck.
My Pulsar.
Yeah, so you just be like, all right, sweet Pulsar, bye. And also you need it. It's just good spot removal for like killing boss monsters, killing stuff you wouldn't normally if your hand is...
Windups. Surprisingly, they don't have very good access to BLS, and they can't really get over it either.
Yeah, well, but without you can get over it. It's just you're using resources. Where Soul Taker is just a quick, all right, kill it. And it's a good Thunder King out. I mean, there's not a ton in the deck, so that's why he plays such a heavy back row. But I really like these two. It's a Christie out. There's a lot of stuff that you need that targeted quick removal before you can go off. And so I really like these 2 cards.
Yeah, Christie just started back to your deck, so we'll come back next turn anyways.
Yep. So the trap lineup, 2 Bottomless. Bottomless is still really solid right now. Not really need an explanation on that. 2 Torrential, same thing. 2 Deep Prison. Deep Prison's still solid. Here is the thing that I've definitely had a lot of discussion over.
Rant some more.
The Mirror Force. Mirror Force is still good. I know a lot of decks cut it just because of space issues, or they'd rather play Deep Prison over the Mirror Force. But Mirror Force punishes a lot of people. Like Mirror Force is at its most effective right now because it's seeing so little amount of play. People aren't expecting to see it, so they may expect to see like a Deep Prison or a Chain or something like that. So when they overextend and they're not getting a response out of you and they attack, they're just assuming you're gonna like 1-for-1 them with a Deep Prison, but in reality you're field wiping just because they didn't read or they didn't play around the Deep Prison.
Yeah, that and like with 6 Samurais, if you try to Deep Prison the Xian.
Oh yeah, I did that today. I 6 Samurai really shouldn't be in your I have to think about this deck, but it's just really nice where what was it? He had a Xian.
Yeah.
He had Xian, I went Deep Prison, he negated, and then I flipped the Mirror Force, and he didn't have the Magatama for it, so I blew him out. And it's because you didn't respect the Mirror Force. And I think that's going to start, I think Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones played Mirror Force in his Mermail, just because he knew people wouldn't respect Mirror Force, and he could just punish them horribly for it.
I know.
I think that's definitely something people need to take a look at.
I don't think I ran into any of them today. I don't think I know of any Mermail decks actually even running that.
And obviously it's going to lose its effect if everybody starts playing Mirror Force, but that's just being able to, you have to read the format and kind of see what other decks are doing and the psyche of most players. So I really like Mirror Force today. It was amazing. 2 Fiendish Chain, we're kind of back in that area where Fiendish Chain is good. Like everybody's like, it had fallen off of favor, but it's solid against the rest of the field. Obviously it's not good against Mermail.
One thing it's really good against, and the only thing that I really think it could be good against is Moin Glacia and Abyss Megalo.
Yeah, like stopping their attacks and then making sure they don't get their pluses is gonna be good.
But they're still gonna get the discard effects for their the water.
Yeah. They're still gonna discard, so they could easily stack however they might be able to stack it on the chain or just the next turn draw into outs where they can get rid of it. So Fiendish, I still really liked it today, but it could be one of those cards that
in the fact that you also could stall on it as well.
Yeah, I could stall out on it. It was real, that's definitely a plus. And then the Solemn Brigade, not really any question there.
Now we're back to the monsters.
and apparently some monsters at 2 Effect Veiler. Apparently I missed those. Good.
No,
I
you
kept shuffling the deck.
You shuffled the deck.
2 Effect Veiler. I thought about dropping the 1 just because of the Mermail, but leaving myself out 2 other creature effects, and then also because I thought Inzektor was going to see a lot more play this weekend, just because of how it did at the YCS. I didn't play against any, but they were still solid against other
I
stuff.
played against one, and I didn't even draw an Veiler, but it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
I was just derping on him all day.
Yeah, I still like Effect Veiler. Worst comes to worst, I can play some in the side.
Pretty much.
Thunder King should probably be at 3. I think I'm going to test 3 for next week, just because he's so good, and especially with Mermail and Prophecy. Prophecy not something you need to worry about. Thunder King's just like a 1-card answer to that deck, other than them playing like a power to get over it. But Thunder King's such a huge boon to Mermail. You just stop all the searching, and that deck lives on. If it can't search, like I played against Mermail in top 8.
Yeah, the only thing that could really get around it though would then be heavy infantry.
Yeah, you can pop. Heavy
that's
infantry.
That's 3 out of 40.
Yeah,
cards.
but that's another resource you're requiring them to use to take care of
Yeah.
a level 4 level 4 monster that you just normal summon, that you don't have anything invested.
Yeah,
And if you can sit back and protect it, then all the better. So I think
especially when you have your favorite tech, the Skullmeister.
yeah, we'll get to that next. And last is Spirit Reaper, and Spirit Reaper kind of falls in the same line as Messenger of Peace. It's just a good stall card where I can sit. I can sit behind the Spirit Reaper if I'm got that bad wind up hand that occasionally happens.
Love the Reapers.
And then I love getting offensive with Spirit Reaper, where he's actually putting
Puck.
yeah, where you're just eating up hand, and Spirit Reaper's still good.
Yeah, especially whenever they're in a top deck situation.
Oh yeah.
They'll set everything. They'll set everything when they're in a top deck situation.
Yep.
You'll miss a dark hole.
Yep. Sideboard, 3D Fissure. That's just because we've got so much graveyard related decks running around that if you can afford to play D-Fissure, you have to play it. Like if your graveyard's not being inherently hurt by graveyard removal, then you should be playing it. I also like it because actually we'll put Macro along. I played the Macro just because I wanted more, just because I knew they were going to be overrepresented this week. So I wanted that 4th RFG card. And it's also good because I can play Fissure, and then I can play. That means I don't have to worry about or play around Effect Veiler or Max C. So it's pretty solid. Next we have level limits, and level limit is just for those generic big daddy boss monster decks. Like Chaos Dragons or even Prophecy.
Hating on my dragons.
Yeah, mostly for Chaos Dragon.
Dragon, and if you're really lucky, you'll find one of them. What is it? The Malefic Drain.
Yeah. But yeah, level limits is good.
I'll make that for next week. Though.
It falls under the
Everyone will,
stall until
no one will expect that Malefic Drain.
Drain.
No one will expect it. Admit it.
Terrible. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and Dark World, and because I thought Inzektor was going to come back in full force again, so I thought I'd bring these back in.
That and it still wrecks my Red MD.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd bring it in against stuff like that, but it definitely shuts down like all those like a lot of like
Red MD Tour Guide.
Yeah, I don't know if I think
part of the deck.
Yeah, well, I think there are just better spots that you can allocate than bringing that in.
Light Imprisoning would probably be better in Dragons than
probably Lightning. I wouldn't play Lightning Imprisoning right now, but that would definitely be better. But yeah, this is Inzektor, Dark World, any generic dark deck. My happy card, Skullmeister, was awesome all day.
Oh, it's level 4 fiends.
Just because, like, he's basically Effect Veiler for any graveyard related effects. Yeah, go ahead and read them.
I have to. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Star Strike Blast?
Yeah, it was a little played secret from Star Strike. And he was amazing just because it fulfilled what I needed to.
Veiler for the graveyard, and plus it is 1700 attack and
it's
dark
a nice
monster.
little beater.
It's nice. It's a very nice beater.
But the big thing was like I was on the draw against Mermail, and so of course he went first, summon Undine, sent Dragoons, search, and then I dissed the Skullmeister, and he's like, "What is this?" I was like, Yep. So it was really solid. I mean, it's just for when you don't have macro. Like a lot of people are like, oh, why
I'm
wouldn't
sure
you just
he's
play
more
another
saying, like,
macro?
oh my god, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
It's
right
just
now?
it's probably good as I might test 2 next week if Mermels keep showing up in numbers.
Oh, that definitely will be. I mean,
Yeah,
if you,
I really
if
like
you
the
invest
card.
that much money in the deck, you're going to be using it.
Yeah, I really like that card a lot. Dust Tornado, just another removal spell along with MST. Goes a match in Rivalry, hurt this deck quite a bit, so you definitely need that extra back row removal. So, Soul Taker, more spot removal, get rid of Chaos Dragon stuff. Another Messenger, another Spirit Reaper, just more stall. Great against Samurais.
Yeah, Sam's Messenger
Spirit Reaper
measure.
did a lot of work today.
Oh, Reaper. I love Reaper. I really do.
Yeah, he's
Especially if it's actually. I'm actually surprised. I haven't seen ever since I've been coming. I haven't seen anyone run it. Zombies.
Yeah, zombies. Well, zombies.
Zombies is one of those generic decks that's pretty much always going to be decent.
Well, I think it's definitely one of those decks that inherently it has in its structure, it can just do powerful things.
Yeah.
Whether everybody else is doing more powerful things, it means won't get played. But
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
think
one of those things that actually can get out Shock. Another one of those decks can get out Shockmaster.
Oh, you can get out Shockmaster. Yeah, you're inherently better than everything else.
You're inherently better than.
And then the last card was Tsukiyomi, which a lot of people think is random, but probably the worst matchup for this deck is Agents, and Tsukiyomi, along with like Soul Taker and stuff like that, is just answers. Like with Agents, they've got so many main deck cards that just hurt this deck. Like Thunder King's a good example. Thunder Kings, huh?
I actually didn't run Thunder Kings on my Agents.
Oh, you should have ran Thunder Kings.
I had him side deck.
Yeah, Thunder King Christian. So just being able to, or Thunder King Agent, or when they go Venus into Gachi Gachi, like having Tsukiyomi turn it down, kill the Venus, and then just being able to get it back. So just having a reliable every turn. If I need it, I can turn something off and then run it over. It's a solid. It's really, really good. I got the idea off of, I think it was Jono. I think Jono on DGZ came up with the idea, and then Steinman and I are like, yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Tsukiyomi, there's a reason they took it off the ban list. There's a reason they took it off the ban list. Because it's a good card that is not seeing as much play as it should. I mean, part of the effect is the fact that if it's face down,
yeah, that's actually
attack
something.
into it.
Yeah, that was definitely something with Sheehan. Like I brought it in, especially for the Sheehan. So he went Sheehan, and then he attacked. I flipped it up, flipped the Sheehan, and then I was able to get around the Sheehan negation. So it was pretty solid. Then the extra deck, nothing crazy. The rank 3s, Giga Brilliant, Zen Mains, Carrier, Acid Golem, Soul Silver Mountain, surprisingly good. It's just kind of like a targeted MST, so they're gonna respond to it either way. They're either just not gonna do anything, or it's gonna eat something up. So it's pretty solid. He ate it bottomless all day. 10 Tempo, Leviair, Leviathan, nothing crazy. Shockmaster, Photon Pop, Utopia. I decided to run Utopia over Zenmeister. I don't care about the OTK ability that Zenmeister enables. I like the fact that I'm able to play conservative or set up to where I'm not going to get blown out by big attacks. Maestroke is amazing. That card.
That and the fact that if you still wanted, you could still technically take out a rank 3 for Zenmeister if you really wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maestroke's just good. Like there were so many times where I went into Tears Maestroke and I'm just like, play Darkhold. Like I really could not care less.
I dare you.
I'm taking away your big power comeback card. Tears and Maestroke definitely do it. And speaking of that, the other 4 that I think is pretty much stable status now is Pistol War.
Yeah,
that card is insane. Like I know it seems really narrow putting an Exceed monster in that's trying to target a specific matchup or two, but
it's not the fact that it's a specific matchup. It's the fact that its effect is so good. I mean, sure not everyone will get the water attack boost.
Yeah.
With it.
You might get it off a shark or something.
Yeah, with one
that's not really
shark.
relevant.
But like if I was gonna run it in my dragons, of course I'm not gonna get it because I don't run it a single water.
Yeah.
But just the fact that the effect is just like the Skullmeister, but it's continuous.
And it's good because you can the turn you summon it, if you read Abysphere or if you read if you read a set Lindy, you just go into it, detach, kill the Lindy, and then on their upkeep, if you can have game if you hold them off for a turn, just on their upkeep, just do the Abyss Dweller effect. So he's out of materials, but they're locked out of that turn, and so I can go off. And then the last 2, Adrius and Tyrus. I cut the Zen Mayo just because space. Like I needed a spot for Dweller, and so I hadn't used Zen Mayo effectively very often lately. So I just cut that. I might put it back in if I can, but I,
mean,
think I was fine with
God
this.
forbid you have plenty of
Yeah.
threes.
But that's it for the deck. So go ahead and subscribe, comment, let us know. You can go ahead and comment and let us know any decks that you want to see featured, or if any players that you know will over here at the local or want to come up, give us a holler. And
Also, before you keep going to the ending, if you guys thought that something was really interesting and you want to comment on that, always feel free to comment. Positive is, of course, positive comments definitely what we recommend.
Or just yell at us. That one works too.
Yell at us.
We prefer in all caps.
Yeah, in all caps.
But then make sure to put a smiley face at the end so we know you're just kidding. But all right. This is the MVP coverage team, Aaron and Spence. See you guys later. Thanks.